Welcome, everybody. Hopefully you're all watching my videos. Subscribe if you would like. I would appreciate that if you ask some questions. Subscribe. This video is another engine part on the Miata V8. Okay? I'm trying to figure out how to edit this without saying incorrect stuff or whatever. I got blue gloves on. I got my tight shirt on. In a little corner, trying to assemble this here Windsor engine for the Miata. Yes, you heard me correctly, Windsor. Okay, I'm gonna give you a rundown for anybody that's new out there. What I'm doing is I'm not trying to go cheap, but I'm also trying to accomplish something that some engine shop told me that you couldn't do. This engine basically was left for dead in a junkyard. There's no salvage yards around here in Connecticut that has anything vintage anymore. Pretty much New England has been wiped out from all the scrap heads. Basically what it is, I paid $125 for a 32,000 original mile Windsor engine out of an F100. I pulled it, stripped it down because I needed an engine for the Miata, and I was going to buy a brand new one like everybody else seems to do at the car shows. You know, you go to car shows, everybody's got these brand new crate engines, and I really don't like that. It's not that I don't like new stuff. It's just that you're kind of taking the fun out of hot rodding. Okay, being a hot rodder, being a motorhead, you're really taking the fun out of that part. Why can't you take something, try to fix it yourself? Well, that's what I did here. So basically, this is my interpretation of a low budget build. So if you're following the videos, try to go back to some of the videos that I talked about with the exhaust. This is basically an attachment to that. I'm building the entire car from the ground up. Everything else is new. I just have to do a little body work on it, paint the car, do some front end and some rear end work. That's going to be this summer's 2020. I'm going to do a whole video set on that because I will get this this car hopefully running, probably running and driving at least I would say by July. So far everything else is looking good. I do have to buy some new stuff, so I have to wait for funds to basically appear for those things because I have other projects and other things that cost a lot more attention and money, so I have to pay attention to those more. Like on my hot rod, I still got to I still got a couple of things to do that, so that I'm trying to focus and finishing that. But I pretty much have everything for this engine except the intake manifold. I am not satisfied with standard intake manifolds that I have put on another one, so I'm trying to figure out so I can find something vintage. In other words, that's what I'm rambling on for. Okay, so in this, I cannot put too many videos on with too much time because people they're not watching them, so I'm only getting, you know, a couple of hits on these videos. So I have all of the pistons in except one, and I'm going to do a video on me doing the rings on this engine. Like I said, I brought this to an engine shop 4 years ago, and the guy told me it sat there for months, and the guy never called me, so I went back up there and the guy said that your engine's no good. The cylinders are egg-shaped. And I said, well, it's supposed to be like that. They're made for race pistons, because a true cylinder is not perfectly round. And this is the story with that. So I ended up honing this out myself. I took almost 7 thousandths on one piston because it had a groove, so then I had to match the others out of it. This, in my motors book, it specifies that I'm supposed to have a ring clearance of 16, right around 14 to 16 thousandths on the ring. That's what these are now. I'm running this a little tight uh, because there was a very interesting wear on two of the cylinders. I took care of that, all set. Thing is brand new, shiny now, and I did it all myself. I can't stand engine shops. I've been to 4 of them, and 2 of them had 2 particular engines of me, and one of them was there for 6 months, and they didn't do a damn thing. So that's why I'm doing these videos for YouTube and for people. This is just a Ford engine, okay, small block Ford, no big deal. It doesn't matter if it's a Chevy or a Chrysler. I build them all, so it doesn't matter. Pontiac, Hudson's, anything, Oldsmobiles, they're all the same to me. So this is a low budget build. Let's give this a hit. $125 for the engine with a full set of brand new 351 heads. So I got them, went through it. I still got to go through the heads, but the heads are fairly new. I paid $50 for this here stroker crank. It's a 347. I paid $50 for these TRW high compression aluminum, forged aluminum pistons with a full floating rod. And basically it's an H-beam rod. This is actually a scat rod. So I got the rods, new pins, pistons that were fired for 20 minutes before the engine grenaded, and the pistons are flawless, for $50 with the crank. So that's where I did. So far I got, I think I only have about, with the bearings and rings, new chime and chain, I actually have a 1968 vintage comp cam in here. It was NOS in a box. I believe the lift is 456 across the board. It's a really nasty cam on this thing, so it should complement these babies very well. There are people out there that are spending ridiculous amounts of money getting stuff that is obsolete. This stuff is obsolete. Let's face it, okay? We're in 2020. I'm 60 years late, okay? And so isn't everybody and all their kids being born today. This stuff is obsolete. No one wants it. But the stuff seems to be worth $1 million at swap meets. I bought all of the rotating mass at a swap meet because the guy, well, he lost his house and everything was going to shit. So I was generous. I didn't want to give him but $20 for it. So I gave him $50, whatever. Again, the shit's obsolete, so there's no purpose even going through how much these companies cost on parts. It's absolutely friggin' ridiculous. I'm waiting for parts that I had ordered a year ago, and I keep complaining about this. But anyways, I'm getting off track with that. So I'm going to do another video on this. The last piston, I'm just going to file the rings. I'm going to show you a low, buck, inexpensive way to file your rings. It's not a big deal. It seems to be a little Neanderthal. I've done this before. Everything works perfect. I have no issues, especially on my Hemi Jeep. That I have not done a video, and I will be doing a video this summer for that. So, okay, have a good day. I'm sorry for rambling on.